All right, so let's talk about the top of the board. You mentioned Simon, Aidan Hutchinson. Like, where are we seeing opportunities? The Jags, they put the franchise tag on Cam Robinson, which all of a sudden meant Evan Neal probably not going to go number one overall, the left tackle from Alabama. So what are we seeing at the top of the board? Matthew Friedman, tell me about the opportunity. Go.
It's intriguing. So everyone is looking at Aidan Hutchinson, thinking that he's going to be the guy. He's been the odds-on favorite for a majority of this process now. But Travon Walker is starting to gain steam. And I will just say there is a split in the Jacksonville organization where you have ownership wanting the golden boy, Aidan Hutchinson. You want general manager Trent Baalke, who wants Travon Walker. And then you have the coaching staff, which is more of an offensive oriented coaching staff that has Trevor Lawrence, one of the greatest prospects of all time, and they want to protect him. And so they're thinking maybe we can get an offensive tackle, an offensive lineman, someone to help solidify everything in front of him. And so I think you could see this going three different ways. And I'll just say one more thing. Trent Baalke, we know that he has a very tumultuous history with Jim Harbaugh. Over his body, is he going to want to draft Jim Harbaugh's golden boy is the number one overall pick? Like, I know that's not a very professional way to think about it, but like Baalke has made questionable decisions in the past, and Travon Walker is exactly the type of guy, the athletic marvel that Baalke has historically wanted for his organizations. I think we've already seen this line move from Aidan Hutchinson towards Travon Walker. It is going to increasingly move in that direction. And if I had to make a bet right now on the number one pick, it would be Travon Walker and not Aidan Hutchinson.
So we're going to make a bet based on your supposition that Trent Baalke's feelings for Aidan Hutchinson's college coach are so poisonous that he would put his team in a bad position just to avoid drafting a player coached by Jim Harbaugh.
It wouldn't be the first time that Baalke has made a questionable decision when it comes to Harbaugh, but it's not just that, not primarily that. It's the mock draft data and it's the odds that we see up on the board. I don't think there's any value right now in betting on Aidan Hutchinson, but there is value, I think, based on the mock draft data and based on where this line has been, and I think the trajectory of where it is going towards the draft. I would bet it now because it's going to be closer to minus money by the time draft day gets here.
Simon, you got a take on what Friedman is saying?
Yeah, I'm already heavily invested in Aidan, so I'm hoping he's wrong. Like you talked about, as soon as they kind of addressed that offensive line position, I just looked at my board and thought, what's the smart thing to do here? You just take the guaranteed stud. We know what Hutchinson's going to do. Like, this kid he's a legit he's one of the Watt brothers. He's built the same way as them, like the Bosa's. They're all these really, really speed strong edge rushers, and is back-to-back Super Bowls. We've seen kind of what's flipped these Super Bowls. It's these guys on the edges. So when I'm looking at this team in Jacksonville, I honestly hate teams that draft high up in this position, don't take quarterbacks, but they're in the perfect position. They don't need a quarterback. Like you just talked about, they have Lawrence. You get to the end here. The offensive lineman, they've kind of already addressed it. So they got Josh Allen on one side, Hutchinson on the other side. That's a huge deal for this Jacksonville team that they kind of need to build that in the inside out. They got to build the O-line, the D-line. They've addressed the O-line this offseason. I think they'll do it again next offseason. They'll add another piece of that. If you have Josh Allen and Hutchinson can work out on that D-line, that's incredible for Jacksonville. So I'm hoping that Matthew's right, that the line keeps moving, because I'll take more value on Hutchinson, because it was at minus 300 at one point. Once it dropped to minus 200, I dipped in. Like, I started buying in on it. It's down to 170 now. I've been buying the dip that it's been dropping down, and I'm getting a little nervous because, like he's talking about, there's a lot of rumors with Jacksonville. Apparently, they really are unsure of what they want to do right now. So I still think it's good value, because I think he is the no-brainer here. We've already heard the Lions, they're praying that they pass on him. They really want this kid. So to me, I just don't see Jacksonville passing on it. But it is interesting that, what are we, 9 days out, 8 days out, and we still have no idea the number one pick.